Hey boys and girls, KnightStalker here. Welcome along today to Riverlands. Check it out. Just doing something a little bit different today. This was a game that I played with one of the lovely subscribers that hangs out on the Discord channel, Kateful Drama. And I wasn't actually recording at this time, but towards the end of the battle I sort of started thinking, oh well, I might point some things out because the battle's going pretty well and I might want to use this footage. So here we are today. I will put the Discord information just in the channel, just down below the video in the description there. So if you want to join me or some of the guys there in the battles, feel free to do so. So what are we doing today? You'll see we've got the Pavise Crossbowmen out on top of the wall at A, which is of course a pretty powerful place for a heavy range unit to be. As you can see, they're causing absolute carnage. The problem we've got right now is that we don't have a lot of melee support. We've got a fraction of a unit of men-at-arms there, so really it's all down to me to protect them. Oops, free kill! Something that Pavise Crossbowmen are very good at. Now, something you might notice is these Pavise Crossbowmen have an ability on the number 4 key that any players in NA or EU won't be able to get. That ability is called Double Shot. Now, what that ability does, it's a doctrine, by the way, is that for 8 seconds, every time they fire a crossbow bolt, they fire 2. I'm not even joking. It's absolutely, bizarrely, disastrously nasty. So that's something that we're actually going to forget to do. Now, what's just happened here, other than the super lad, is that this short sword decided that even though he's got iron sides on, he's going to dash in, which didn't wend out well for him, as you can see. Because all I had to do was keep him down for the 8 seconds it takes for his iron sides to wear off, which is what me and Kateful there did pretty well. Kateful's going to get eaten by the Stalwarts. Now, don't be afraid of Stalwarts, especially when they're moving. When they're moving, they're very vulnerable. It's when they're all braced up. Now, here's another thing about the Stalwarts. See how they're trying to do their advance move there? They're trying to get up into that shield wall and then advance forward. If you can stop that shield wall forming, they will stop advancing. So that's a tactic you can use. You know, if you see them start to form up, get in there with a hero, give them a few whacks. They just won't be able to form up and advance into your units. Of course, it didn't work out so well for me either, but that's just life, and we did lose about half of the Pavise Crossbowmen unit. But it is a very good start, as I'm telling our play group right there in chat. So, anytime you go down, especially when you're this early in the battle, you got to think, what am I going to do now? Am I going to take out the rest of that unit? In this case, I've chosen to do so. Because 8 Pavise Crossbowmen is not that powerful, you know, it's what, a third of a unit? But, you know, they can still do some damage. Now here's me considering, will they be able to shoot around these crenellations in the wall? And I'm thinking to myself, probably not efficiently. And I'm going to make a fateful mistake here. I'm going to bring them with me back up onto the wall when we've already lost it. You know, you've got these part units, they're never useless. Never ever useless. In this case here, I'm thinking, oh, I might go and get some more kills. Pop them down the bottom and I give a little peek and I think, oh, I've got some shields here, we've got nobody else around, I might give it a crack. Unfortunately, this was the undoing, because right at that moment we have a giant unit of enemies pushed around the corner. Now these in front of us here, those look to be Iron Cap Spearmen. They are not a strong unit. If you have Iron Cap Spearmen, sure, feel free by all means to use them, but they've got nothing special about them as spearmen that is particularly useful. So they've never been a standout unit in any way. Now, as you can see, I try and save the unit there, but as you can see on the minimap, through comes another hero and starts butchering them, and all I can do is run away. I do try and put myself in the way of the heroes there, but I do get overwhelmed. Being a longsword, I've got a massive deep hit point pool with toughness and everything like that going on, so I do manage to get away. Falls and things, you know, these bleed damages and stuff, they really don't hurt a longsword with a deep toughness pool, or any character for that matter, but longsword does it well because of the heal rate. So, warning our team that bad things are happening at A, and we're going to go on back. Now you might be a bit surprised on the unit choice here. I do choose to take out the Peasant Farmers. The reason for that is that I want to try and take out some of the... I take out the Pike Militia first, I think. I do. So I want to try and take out some of these units that are pushing down the stairs. The Pike Militia, the Peasant Farmers I'll talk about in a minute. I'm just a little bit ahead of myself. Bear with me. So Pike Militia is a unit that everybody should have. They're the only green tier unit that can take on any tier of any kind of unit and win. You've got to be a little bit smart about it though. You can't take a hussar charge frontally. That's just suicidal. So here we go. Here's another unit of Iron Cap Spearmen. And we're going to try and... If he'd stop running away... come back here. Stop! Stop! We're going to try and partner up with him. We're going to use him as protection, and he's going to use us as damage killing us. So with the militia pikemen, you just charge them in and you hit the 1 key. Be really brutal with them. They're a low tier unit, they're not worth a lot of leadership points. Just smash them in, get them all the way up against the enemy unit and tap that 1 key. They'll brace and they'll just destroy things. Get yourselves a hero kill. We've wiped out an entire unit of those pike militia probably, and we're just doing the same here to the iron cap swordsman. So honestly, if you haven't got pike militia and you're a new player, highly recommend them. Can't go wrong. I use them all the time, even now on top tier games. Really, really, really good unit. So we're going to block them up so you get a nice heal on them, and I'm thinking at this point I might send them back. We've got a whole bunch of them there that are injured, but we might bait these guys. Now these are lunch necks, and you'll see them go into the little brace before they do their power charge. So we're going to bait that power charge and get out of the way. So that's wasted their best ability. Once they're past, we move back in and go back into the brace. Now, it's a bit unfortunate that we got knocked down again. That knocked down a whole bunch of our guys and really stunted their ability to cause a lot of damage. And see how they're getting attacked on the side now? Once they really start taking damage, the pike militia just do collapse. They are still a peasant unit no matter how much damage they put out. And when you see this much cavalry and infantry bearing down on you and you're a hero by yourself, you run. There's no possible thing. Now it's quite obvious here what's going to happen. All those cavalry and things are going to run up to the end point, which is a very smart thing to do because the A point is obviously quite overrun. So it's very predictable what they might be doing there. So now we're going to bring in those peasant farmers we were talking about, because at this point I'm thinking there's a heavily damaged part unit of lunch necks there, and I think I might be able to trade my 40 leadership unit for their higher tier, more damaging unit. And we're going to do that with the help of these rattan crossbows here. We're going to hide them so he can't see them, and then we're going to charge through. Now what I do here is I try and drag the unit through so we get more of them in combat. And as you can see, they're poking great big holes with pitchforks in these lunch nets. The longsword is doing all the finishing off for some reason, and the peasants don't quite get the kills, but they are doing lots and lots of damage, as you can see there with those damage numbers. Now, it doesn't matter what happens when your final base is being captured, you go there. No excuses, no ifs, no buts, no babies. You stop what you're doing and you run. And in this instance, it's going to cost me most of that elite farmer unit. And you'll see that it's cavalry because they're moving very fast there that crash into the back of them. So whatever, we lost 10 farmers or something. Not a big deal. And that's why we took the farmers out as a choice, because it was highly likely in those circumstances that we were going to lose the unit that we took out. So really, I just wanted something to take some hits for me when I do my longsword thing. We did finish off that unit of large necks too. Very handy. So we've driven these couple of heroes off the point, and it's looking quite bad for us at the moment. We did hold them for a long time at A though, so we have got some breathing space. You'll see in the chat in a second that some of our team are a little bit despondent and really not so happy. But it's not lost yet. We've got half of their final point and a little bit of B to defend. We've got our strongest unit, or second strongest unit yet to play with. Probably the strongest unit in these situations. And lots of our teams still have all of their units too, because of the length of time we held them back on A. Very, very handy. Now I've chosen to go down the left side here because those front steps are highly trebbable. So you really want to avoid that if you can. And of course, as soon as you get to the bottom, you're very visible and can be mulched by cavalry. Now what I'm doing here with the Stalwarts is I'm going to bunch them up against this wall. And that's to hide them behind that tree. You'll see me sort of have a look back in a minute after we do a bits and pieces, and I'll actually show you what's going on there. So we've got lots of cavalry around, and I like using mortars and ballistas on cavalry, so we're going to try and build this. Unfortunately, the enemy hero does see what we're doing and gives us a good poke. When you get a good hit from the enemy, it stops you building siege artillery. So here we go, it's hero fight only at the point until some, what do you call those, sergeants show up. Spear sergeants. So we call out forward our Stalwarts, and you use these guys just like the pike militia. You bunch them up, smush them up against the enemy unit, hit that 1 key, and they kill everything. Now these light cavalry, things like Couturiers, Armiger Lancers, all that sort of stuff are easily destroyed by the Stalwarts. So as you can see, I didn't try and run away or anything there. I didn't even bother trying to stop the cavalry with my hero. And we're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep doing that thing. And we're going to try and envelop this spear hero. See, we're all around him. He couldn't escape even if he was standing. And do the same thing. Smash them up against the enemy units, hit that 1 key, and they absolutely kill them. This is just one of the best units to get as well, although it's a lot harder when you're a new player to get the Stalwarts. Very, very strong unit. But as you saw earlier in the game, right up there when we were fighting with the Pavise crossbows, they're not immortal. Now, being a longsword, of course, the thing you want to do is apply lots of heals. Now, I'm going to run over here, and at this point I think it's a good game. I'm probably going to record this later. So I start showing you what's going on. You see that? See where I'm waving my mouse there? You cannot see them. You know, why would you drop a trev there or start shooting at it? Because they're so hard to see. I love this map, how you can hide things behind trees. You can even hide them on the points there. It's really, really useful. Don't know what that spear sergeant was doing, that little one that ran off there. Steve's a little bit odd. You got to cut him some slack. He was dropped on his head as a child. Never mind. As you can see here, we know that this player right with us is probably a newer player because they have these domain shields here. And domain shields in these higher tier matches really don't stand up to anything. But that's okay. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try your best. But as you can see where the Stalwarts are playing, if these guys banked up on that little edge there as well, they would also not be as vulnerable and quite invisible to the enemy. So, at this point, we're just waiting for the enemy to do something. I was thinking when I was recording this video, that's a nice deep black hole of a cannon. They didn't even model it. It was just a black hole. The void. When you stare into the void, sometimes the void stares back with high velocity steel. And already our mortar is quite happy. And we notice these iron cap swords charge in. That's quite suicidal of them. They're going to die probably because of the number of heroes and units over there. So I'm kind of going to give them some hot support. Sorry, friendly team. You'll see at the end, in the end screen we killed 4 of them total, I think. But we killed a lot more of those rattans and things over there, which are very very vulnerable to flame, like all rattans. I'm going to continue to use that mortar to get some kills. And we've got a peasant charge into our team's iron cap swords. Now the thing I'm really worried about here is all these heroes and the cavalry on the left hand side, and here comes that cavalry charge. I do try and save the domains, but of course even though we took most of the charge on our shield, they are just domain spec. So as I said before, it would have been better for them to go up and hide where my Stalwarts are. Now as you can see, Stalwarts are not even remotely afraid of these cavalry when they can't get a good run up. Especially those long lances there, chances are they are hussars, or potentially monastics, but I think these ones are hussars. So we're going to get stuck in, because they're a good thing to get killed before they get to have their charge cooldown. Now for whatever reason, the hero's not paying attention, and we get to get stuck in and stab a whole bunch of them. So that's really handy. And we've damaged him enough now that he has to back off. So we just hit them into loose formation, just so they have a few stabs. We go in here, and we kill a hero and a whole bunch of units. Again, just slapping that 1 key, even though they're not in that big block formation, anything that walks into the front of them will die. Now, I realised then I was going down, so the very first thing I did is hit the 1 key. Now, I know that they're getting hit in the back and taking multiple damage and things, but the important thing is that they're on the point when we don't have anything else. Now that all those heroes are pushed off, I put them in the V formation so they can start attacking this shield wall of javelins in the back, which of course is going to do lots of nice damage and get us some nice kills. And of course those javelins now won't be recycled. Of course it's highly likely that the hero died in that fray, and he was doing the same thing, just having some units there to take some big damage sponges and things like that. And you can see on the minimap the remains of our Stalwart unit are off stabbing any loose units. The reason I haven't hit B and called them back now is there were only 6 left when this started happening, and if you pull them out now, you're not going to get them back anyway, especially with a minute 10 left on the clock. It's not happening. Looks like Capeville dropped out of the game, but we'll be back. So, we've got left as Martellalori. What can you do when you've just got one of these little peasant units, the cannon fodder units left? Well, of course they can sacrifice their lives in the heat of battle for your glory. You do get score at the end of the match for having caused more damage, taken more damage, so you could use them for that, for extra score, but there's better things you can do with them, i.e. get in the way. So we're just going to slap this guy a little bit, hit him with the minus 50% movement, and then we'll just bunch him up with all these units. And he's not going to like that with all his skills on cooldown. So we don't really want these Imperial shields getting on the point, they're very hard to dislodge, so the peasants, with the last 30 seconds on the clock, just get in amongst them and make an absolute nuisance of themselves, which is really one of the best things you can do with peasant units. I think they actually, in the end result, they actually do kill one of them. But with the last few seconds, we just get on the point and make sure that our team secures the victory. telling our team, run, 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 we've got seconds, come on the point, and up show the spear sergeants, and that secures our victory. Lovely. It's a lovely, lovely victory. 4 hero kills, 152 troops. We got 1.5 million damage done and 1.4 million taken. Really, really good, solid game. Maximum score S tier. You can see there our 3 main units caused absolute carnage, especially the Pike Militia, great for 110 leadership. Even the Peasant Farmers and Martellalori got a kill each, which is 1 more kill than the cannon fodder usually gets. So they can be useful. Now, top guy there didn't get many unit kills, but you can see he did lots of damage. We sort of took the brunt of the attacks there for our team, you can see, taking loads of damage and causing a lot of unit damage with our unit. And here we go. You can see here, this was some of the Pike Militia who died in the push on the Iron Caps. This was a couple of Pavise Crossbowmen, but also the Pike Militia dying in the gateway underneath. The Peasant Farmers fighting the Larchnecks. Peasant Farmers getting run over by the cavalry. Up here, this is all our Martellalori, selling their lives dearly, just for nothing more than to hold up an entire unit of Imperial shields for a few seconds. And of course here, this is all of our Stalwarts who died rather brilliantly and did a very stellar job of securing that point for our team. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something new, or you just enjoyed the video. Thanks for coming to the channel. Hey guys, Knight here. Thanks for watching my videos. I make these in my spare time for a bit of fun, so hopefully you learned something or you just enjoyed watching. It would really help me out if you would subscribe and like my videos. See you on the battlefield.